the owner of Maison Maitland School in Villas. And we moved actually to this region just 2 years ago. And we are in the beautiful Augusta Township, just east of Rockville.
Erin, you're next.
My name is Erin Curtin. I own Pickle and Myrrh at Caramel Shop in Merrickville. We moved here from Alberta about 6 years ago, and we opened our shop 2 years ago in Merrickville, Boulevard.
Awesome. Matthew, you're up next.
I'm Matthew Chapman. I'm one of the owners of Paul Orchards in Rockville. We've been in operation since 1947, so we're a decade in business. I've been there on the last 14 years.
And I'm Martha Kadrenko. I'm a co-owner of Rosie Youngski's Fine Foods and Kadrenko's Grocery in Westport. Rosie's has been in operation for 16 years.
Yummy things on the station list. Okay, so let's start off with our two newer businesses. So we'll talk with Erin and Cynthia first. Erin, could you speak a bit to why you chose Lee's Renville as the place to work in your business?
I actually grew up in Rockville, and then after university, moved out to Yonge, Alberta, and I spent 13 years there, and where I met my husband and started our family. And so when we were looking to relocate back to Ontario, I was, always telling him about how beautiful Lee's Renville is. Growing up, whenever I would tell anybody where I was from, and I'd say Rockville, they go, "Oh my gosh, I know Rockville. That's like Pleasantville. It's so beautiful." And out west, we just don't have the same history that I think these small towns in Ontario have. So when we were looking in the Perth area and Rio Ferry and in Merrickville. We decided on Merrickville specifically because it was like living in a postcard. So I thought, this is such an easy, idyllic location to package and sell as being able to live in a real life Hallmark movie. To be able to fulfill your Gilmore Girls moment, to come and stroll around beautiful cobblestone alleyways and these heritage businesses. Like the business, the location I'm in is from 1860. It has real authentic tin ceilings and tin walls. It's so ornate and beautiful, and that's what everyone comments when they come in. Is they just say, "Wow, this is so beautiful." I think we often take for granted that we all live in a postcard, I think, living in Lee's Renville, and it's an easy sell to get people to travel, especially, to places like Merrickville to have their little Hallmark moment.
Yeah. All right, Cynthia, from an experiential side of things, I'd love to hear your perspective on why you chose Maitland as your home.
Well, I actually had my cooking school in Prince Edward County, and I had started that in 2010. And we were looking to relocate because I wanted to expand and have accommodation as part of the experience for people. And so we started looking, and I really wanted to be in the same corridor as where I was in Prince Edward County. And so it was important from a demographic perspective, especially for tourism, that I could retain and expand my already demographics that I was going after when I was in Prince Edward County. So sort of this moving down the waterway and looking to find a home that had the heritage, that had the charm, that had the history, and I really wanted a stone house. So that was kind of the parameters, and working and understanding the demographics of the pull, still from Toronto, which I was surprised at the numbers of people still from Toronto, because I was another hour down the 401. But still, because it's so close to the 401 where we're situated, it wasn't that much farther for people from even Oakville to come to this region, which I have been hosting since I've moved there as well. So big draws from Ottawa, still from Kingston, still from other parts of Leeds, Grenville. So it still had that, I call it the onion. It still had those still layers that were still reaching. So from sort of the combination of all those things, they were all kind of it was a win-win on all those parameters as a business owner. That the particular area, Leeds, Grenville, and specifically being close to Brockville for that tourism, but having that rural village feel in Maitland and Augusta really was sort of the winning thing. And of course, I fell in love with the property, so that was sort of the combination.
Who knew that our historic and our stone buildings were such a draw for people, right? We got to take advantage of that. Okay, down to the end, Martha and Martha and Martha. Okay, so let's talk a little bit working with other businesses, working together. So Martha, can you tell us about the importance of working with other food and beverage businesses?
Well, I've had a lot of experience over the last 20 years in the food industry. I would say, first of all, with smaller, more local producers, that it's telling their story and finding out how their product is made and being able to educate our customers on that product. Also, meeting other business owners that are just starting out and if they happen to come to us for advice, being able to see their business grow and flourish. And I'd say a good example of that is Made by Bees from Rockville. An example of a business, a partnership in our business, I would say Matt's a good example. We carry Hull's Apple Orchard at our grocery store. We carry their apples and their ciders. And at Rosie's, we carry their ciders and jellies and apple butter. And we're happy to be able to educate our customer on their products.
Awesome, thank you so much. Yeah, there's a lot of, we have here all day, we're talking about all the connections within the businesses on the stage and also our adventures. We didn't really know that getting into the adventures, how deep the connections between businesses were in the region, and it's been so amazing to see when you go into a foodie shop on our adventure trail, it's like, oh wait, that's us too, we're all in it. So it's just wonderful to see all that working together in the region. Matt, can you speak to how working with other businesses in the industry has helped your business?
I go with kind of the same thing that Martha had to say. Like, never one connection here to make. As we sell to Drinkos, then Rosie Umskies started taking our product there. We've also worked with a lot of local businesses that we co-pack stuff for now, that we bought stuff from them, and now they start sourcing material from us as well. So without those initial connections,
Yeah, relationships are huge, I think. Okay, Aaron, coming back to you. I know that you've made quite a name for yourself in the region for bringing businesses together. You do a lot of great things in Marrickville and beyond. Can you talk about how you collaborate with other local food businesses to create a more compelling culinary tourism experience for visitors?
So my background was working for years in tourism marketing. And so when we first moved to Marrickville, before I even opened the shop, and I would drive by this iconic red barn right on the banks of the Rideau River, and I said, that's the spot that every girl wants to drink their pumpkin spice latte and go on a hayride and pick a pumpkin for fall. And so I reached out to the stables, that's Heritage Stables, and I said, listen, can I set up and just sell pies here? This backdrop is iconic. And they said yes. And the first year I sold my pies, and I think I sold out in like half an hour. And then the next year I invited 4 small businesses to work with me, and it grew and grew. And so this last Thanksgiving, that was our 6th year of holding Fall for Marrickville, where we see the Saturday of Thanksgiving long weekend, about 7,000 people that come to Marrickville, specifically on this horse farm. And it's grown. Thankfully, Farmer Jake bought the farm next door to it last year. So now we have about 300 acres. We use about 10 of them to park vehicles in, We pay for OPP to help direct traffic. We have 120 small businesses come, and they do a phenomenal business that day. And we see people come from all over that make this an annual event. They book rooms in Merrickville, so we've got heads and beds, the restaurant selling the food, the gas station runs out of gas. It's an amazing day, and people just hold it in their heart as this cute little event that they can come to Merrickville for. So that's a really great one. And then 2 years ago, I started Merrickville's Picnic Party, which is the May long weekend, every Saturday the May long weekend. And it started selfishly because we were launching a new kind of caramel, or pretzel caramel. And I thought, you know, how am I going to get people to come out to try this new caramel? I need to package it in something that you wake up in the morning and you tell your husband, hey, we've got to make a drive to Merrickville to go to this little event. So I approached a bunch of the businesses like Mrs. McGarricles and Violet's Bakery and Yellow Canoe and the Cheese Shop. And I said, can you come up with a little package that people can pre-book to come and get a little picnic box from you? And then they can come to our little event. They can promenade, they dress up, we have trophies and sashes for the best dress contest. And it's really indicative of the brand of Merrickville, which is Victorian and small, handmade, local businesses. So people come in, they're dressed to the nines, they win trophies, and they have their little picnic lunch that they get from all the different businesses. And so we've done that 2 years now, and it's been phenomenal. It's such a great day. As well as I do quite a bit on social media, so I share lots of what's happening and ride my bike around Merrickville and just kind of video it. And some of those videos reach 1 million views on TikTok, and we get people that come, you know, a year later that said, oh, I saw that video, I put it in a list that this is a destination, and they'll drive 6 hours to come to Merrickville to live their little Hallmark postcard moment. To walk around at Christmas in Merrickville, or Fall from Merrickville, or Merrickville Picnic Party, or the Merrickville Makers Market, whatever it is. And I just see it, you know, it's one thing to try and get someone to come just to have my caramel, but that same shopper is also interested in buying Wick Witch handmade candles, or going to get Janet's mustard from McGarricles. So to be able to promote and package it all together, it's just a no-brainer to really showcase how beautiful the village is. So the last one I just did was on a whim. On a Thursday, I sent a note to a bunch of the shop owners and said, hey, wear black tomorrow and have a broom. I'm going to come around and film you locking your store at 3 o'clock. And I did. And no one knew what was going on, and I just made a quick little video on Practical Magic. And that video reached 300,000 on TikTok. We saw a ton of business come through our online shop from people near and far, as far away as Florida, that were buying our caramel advent calendars and writing in the comments, we loved the Miracle Practical Magic video, that was amazing, that was so great. So by showcasing all of the other businesses that are in Merrickville and not just focusing on ourselves inclusively, like being a bigger picture, that really, you know, they always say high tides rise all ships. And we see so many people that come specifically for the caramels and then go and get gelato and go get that blockhouse and go get candles and do all sorts of things. So I work with the other businesses all the time because it's such a great partnership.
Yeah, and you're doing amazing things up there, and I love watching you from afar, and you fly and doing your camera.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love it. Cynthia, could you talk a little bit about what advice you might give to other food business owners who are looking to tap into culinary tourism?
I think one of the key things is to how do you differentiate yourself from the other people in that space. Certainly from a regional standpoint, you know, taking that kind of cursory research. For instance, I said to a few people, I said, we must be the capital of fishing. But why? Let's look at, you know, nobody has a smoked meat stand yet, or something that tourists that are craving for something that they also are familiar with, but that they want to be able to experience. Because as the culinary tourism lady has said to me, everyone has to eat 3 times a day. So they want to have that different experience when they come. They want to have some kind of food that they're going to remember. They want to be able to search it out and find you before they actually come, because a lot of people plan their trips before they arrive, especially if they're in culinary, because they want to know what restaurants they're going to go to, and it may not be for reservations, but they certainly have mapped out whether it's like the new trails or whatever it is. They have got their itinerary. And they'll be calling me too, where can I go? And so being on as many websites as possible with your business, where tourism people are going, whether it's the tourism websites. You also have Feast On, which is a great culinary program. If you purchase, I think it's 25% or more of your goods that you have in your restaurant or in your business that you use, you can be on that specific website. And a lot of people go for the restaurants and the cafes on there, knowing it is a true farm-to-table experience wherever they're going. And people do want to know where the food comes from now, and especially if they're serious about this industry and that area. So, but I think the most important thing is to differentiate yourself and be able, like Aaron does, be able to be out there on social media and as many places as possible that they can find you before they arrive in this region to spend their money.
Yeah, that's so wonderful, and it really does kind of echo why we're doing those trails, and we're trying to do it this year. They've been really successful, and I think that's because people like to plan and see where they're going, and once they're somewhere, once they get into one of our small villages or hamlets, there's more to see and there's more to do, and they're happy to stay. It's just making them aware and getting their bodies here. Okay, so we're on to our last two questions. As we wrap up here, let's start looking to the future. So Martha, I would love to hear what you see in the future for Rosie Yumski's as we continue to lead the way in culinary tourism.
Well, the last couple of years has been a little crazy with the renovation of Rosie's and actually moving it to a new location. I doubled in size in the last year and a half. So just continuing on expanding the products, finding more local product, carrying in the store, my marketing to expand on that. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Amazing, and yeah, your new store is like full to the brim.
It is
delicious, amazing, wonderful things. So if you haven't,
but there's something else out there I know that can be in my store.
Well, maybe you look within these Grundle to see what it is.
That's right.
All right, Matthew, can you speak from your perspective about the future of halls and maybe some thoughts on culinary tourism in the region? How you see that going?
We've changed a lot over the years. We used to predominantly be a wholesale packer, so we had a very, very small on-farm presence, and everyone would buy our apples at the grocery store. We ship it out.
Okay, I'll
in
go.
trucks.
Thanks, buddy.
We scaled that back. We still do. Now we do a lot more on-farm stuff. So we have a fine food store. That's worked very well. We have our bakery. It's coming nicely. We are launching our hard cider. So that is what we're kind of in the process of doing right now.
Yes,
As long as the AGCO is
Yep.
in line, we should be ready to go for next week.
I'll see you.
So we're in the process of building the tap room and getting all that set up. So that is our next big thing. As far as culinary tourism, with having the alcohol, it opens us up to not just being during the day and weekends with the family, but having things for more adult-oriented later on in the day. Which is bringing us to a whole new market.
Yeah, that's so awesome and so exciting. So that is all my questions for today. Do we have time for, does anyone want to ask questions?
We have time for a couple of questions. Here, or who has the other? Just, we just have the one wireless right now. So here, and then who was next after? I saw another hand go up.
Thank you. My name's Randall Goodfellow. I'm part of the Westport Tourism Group. We actually had a question we were talking about as we all drove over here this morning, was that since it was launched, the at Rosie's back in June. Have you been tracking data to this point about the impacts of this? If you have, can you please share what you're finding from a visitation, revenue increase perspective, or what other data are collecting? Thanks.
Sure. Actually, some of our groups are on the tour right now, or on the adventures. It's very challenging for someone to track a Facebook post or from a sign that we've done directly to that store. So it is a challenge, but what we have heard in anecdotal from our businesses that yes, things that we've heard that people are coming because of it, or they weren't aware of it. What we have seen on our Facebook account specifically is mentions of let's go ladies, or let's go have a family day here. So that's a positive that we have a sense that we're creating that awareness. And just as what is said here is in regards to the value small business and social media has. And I know Cindy Bolton has been here on our digital services. It is crucial to making sure we're aware. But building on what you've done with Carmel's, it's not just a Carmel. It's how do you work with other businesses too. And I think that's what our sense was. We got to keep in our small communities. You've got to support each other. And social media, if you get negative review, that's not great. So we need to be able to address those and keep our positive comments. And let's endorse ourselves. Like and follow your own people. So because your networks go out further. So do take advantage of that. So I'll do a little promo of like and follow our